So I am here channeling Nicole Brown Simpson. She's been with me on and off for like, I would say, a couple of weeks, or maybe a week. But she, even throughout the years, I've been drawn to channel her, but it just felt right in this moment, and it hadn't felt right in those other she's made herself known to me, is what I'm saying. All right, so she's starting off saying hello. And I was telling her before that I really hate the fact that she's infamous, for what happened to her. Like her and Ron. Like it's so unfortunate because she was so much more than all of that. But so she's talking. It then went into her kind of telling me straight out, like, I didn't let go of things until OJ died. Like, I was waiting for that man to die, she's saying. And she was very like, direct about that. The way that I hear it, like the confidence in which she says it. Okay, she is coming through, and she did come through very angelic, okay? So I wanted to say straight off the bat that I get this very angelic feeling. And to me, that feels like, and what I'm seeing in my third eye, is her kind of like going up in an elevator. She elevated to an angelic level. And she did this because she knew this lifetime was going to be a sacrifice, and she didn't know how it was going to play out necessarily, but she knew this was going to be something that was going to change things, like really radically change things. Like, if you just look at the entire trial itself, you'll see how insane it all is. I mean, I was only like 10, 11 years old when that happened. So she's talking about love. After she talks about holding on to something until OJ comes, she's talking about, she's saying that, like, she did forgive him, but she hasn't actually, he's tried to make contact with her. He has a lot of things to go through before his soul can transcend. Ooh, okay. Like therapy, almost like a therapy for a soul. Like they talk about this sometimes. It's like a rehabilitation or a therapy that they have to go through, where they slowly face themselves, because it's difficult to go through that in the non-physical, but it's something that has to occur, and they can hold off and push it away and stay in the in-between, right? And not move forward. But eventually, with enough encouragement and help, they eventually do come to terms with their lifetime. But we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about Nicole. We want to talk to Nicole. She has a lot of beautiful, big energy. Though there is a lot of white, right? And this purity, she has like a burnt sienna orange, like a brighter, though summertime type of orange gown. So there is a feistiness to her energy. And I just want to say that she is not a pushover. Now, she does talk a lot about her lifestyle in that lifetime. And she's talking about the materialism of it all and how most, if not all, of her relationships within that circle, okay? So the couples that they hung around with in their, in California and how they lived, their lifestyles, and the people that were living in the same sort of, income bracket, and that kind of thing. It was very shallow, and it didn't award her a lot of substance when it came to her female friends. She's not saying anything derogatory about them or putting them down in any way. She's just trying to basically make me understand a little bit more about that lifestyle, because she's saying that there could very well be, that could be a factor into how things happened the way that they happened. Because, believe it or not, someone conditions you a certain way. We were living a certain life. He was giving me everything and more. And it was like, if I have to put up with this part of him, then, it was okay at first, right? It was never okay, but it was like she was able to sort of push it off, and she really wasn't paying attention because he was so good at sort of tempering her, like most abusers do, where they start off small at first and then it slowly builds up over time. But she was consumed by a lot of other things, and he wanted that. He wanted her to be in that, so that she didn't pay attention to his maneuvers, his motivations, what he was trying to do to her. And so there was a little sweet spot going on there. And of course, she's talking about him being a narcissist and a big baby, and like it had to be about him. But he was also very charming, and he knew how to like pull you back in again, and you wanted to believe him. It's a very typical cycle of abuse here. And so it was like he wooed her and he charmed her, and she felt a sense of power in that, okay? She grew an ego and a confidence that she thought was very real, okay? But, it was all the flashy, nice things, which, who wouldn't want, luxury and like to be taken care of financially and all that kind of stuff, Like, she was this young girl, she was a waitress, and here's O.J. Simpson, like, charming her. So she wanted, though, like, she's talking about how when it got to be too much, when it got to be to the point where she was scared for her life, she wanted a single life. She actually didn't really want to be with another guy or be in a relationship with anybody else. She wanted to take care of her kids and to be alone and single and independent. That's something she really wanted. And I don't know if that was ever spoken about amongst her and her friends, or if that was something that she kept to herself, or maybe only spoke to her family about. I don't know. But she wanted to move out and live on her own. But she knew after a certain period of time, his ego was going to be hurt by that, okay? And so if he didn't have access to her, then he was going to see it as a game, like football, okay? And a touchdown, like getting to the victory. It was a game. And it was a game of power and control and ego. And he wanted that hold on her. He wanted that. But then he liked to play a cat and mouse thing, like, let her go. You know, I'll take my paw off of your tail, and I'll see you scurry, and I'll watch where you're going, and then I'll pounce on you again. That's exactly how she's showing me it was between them. Whenever he got his victory, she was left in a puddle of her own tears. She was broken again. It was very, very hard for her. Ron Logan is coming. Ron is coming through. And Ron is still working through some things as well. I'm Ron Logan. Ron Goldman. Wow. Ooh. Ron Logan is the guy that was connected to the land where the Delphi murders took place. Ooh, I might have to, that was a slip up. I might have to do something on that. Maybe the girls are trying to come through. Ron Goldman. This was a very, I'm not entirely sure that a lot of people know what was going on between Nicole and Ron, but he was in sort of like, he had a crush on her. He had a crush on her, and he had this like puppy love, like, I want to bring you chocolates and flowers and like things like that. You know, it was like this cute little, like, I have a crush on you kind of thing. And he was trying to show her like in very little small ways. He didn't want to, you know, do anything too overt, but he did have a crush on her. And this was a dangerous thing as well. I don't think she might have just wanted to be intimate with him. But I don't know that she wanted a romance because of OJ. Because she knew how violent he was. She knew this was the perfect storm if she were to enter into anything. But even just the small amount of interaction that her and Ron had was enough to push this man over the edge. That is scary to me, what she's showing me. That's so scary to me because he was stalking. He was stalking her. Everybody that she talked to, everybody that she interacted. It could be the clerk at the drugstore, or you know, the man sweeping the aisle in the supermarket. Clocked it. That's how obsessed he was. He's a sick man, very sick man. And then you throw drugs into it, she says. Cocaine and things like that. Whew. Not good. And another recipe for disaster. I asked her how she has processed that. I'm not going to ask her about the events because I'm pretty sure there's enough out there about what took place in their, in this case and what happened to Nicole and Ron. I wanted to ask her how was her process in that, like, did it take a long time to process what you went through? She said, oh, absolutely. She's showing me like a conveyor belt. She's showing me a conveyor belt. You know how, like, you can see a factory, let's say that's like like making a certain product, like a food item. And there's just these different things that they go through on the conveyor belt, right? The product itself is being made, and then it's being, bagged up, and then it's being sealed, and they're putting a sticker on it, and they're putting it into the box, and it's the whole thing, right? So she said, yeah, it's a process like that, like it's almost like going under a waterfall. Every time, you reach a certain pinnacle where you make peace with things. Because I didn't want to spend my afterlife holding on to something that was already done and I could do nothing about. As she says, just like in life we hold grudges, I didn't want to hold one in the afterlife. I wanted to be able to stand in the light and to make peace with the circumstances that happened in my life as Nicole Brown Simpson. I had to work things out with Ron as well. I felt a lot of guilt over his end, and I wanted to. I knew that I needed to make peace with the energies of a lot of people. Now she's focusing on her kids. She said she never left her kids, like she never left them. She was scared for them, actually. She was very scared for her children. I think she says that they were brainwashed by him, and she doesn't blame them for that because their father was a master at doing that. So, of course, he's able to charm you into thinking that, the sky is purple, the sky is black, whatever, it's not blue. He has the ability to do that. So she doesn't blame them, but she is with them. And she's saying that they're going to start to see clearer now that their father's passed away. She's happy about that because I think they're going to let her in more. Her son might be going through something as far as like a life crisis, which leads to an awakening or something like that. Like he went through it after his dad died, and then it kind of like led to him like opening up. Like he didn't stay hurt. He reopened again. And then she's been able to really spend a lot more time with him because of that. And I think he knows that she's there. I don't see that happening so much with the girl, with her daughter, but they're adults now, and it sucks. It sucks that they lost her. But she was always there. She was always with them. She loves them. She's there for every milestone, everything, as a good mother would be. She wants to think that she would have been able to survive him. But this was meant to happen. As terrible as that is for some people to hear and to swallow, okay? Because there are people out there that will completely disagree that tragedies and things like that do not need to occur. And let me tell you something. It depends, okay? We're here in the 3D reality, and we are experiencing things that we can't experience when we are not in this reality. We're able to experience denser emotions where it's like the Wild West Earth. And so many things can happen. And so many things do happen. But the one certainty I know as a psychic and a channeler is that I'm told time and time again that it is all purposeful, that it sucks that these things happen, but the soul is growing. The soul grows exponentially no matter what. And it's everlasting. It's eternal. And we keep going. This is just another case in point of that being so. She remains with her family. She remains with her children. She gives them so much love. And I see her with a bouquet of red roses, okay? She said, my passion has never gone away. My passion is thriving. Because she's talking a lot about what a passionate person she was in life. She was not a coy person. She was a firecracker, and that has not gone away. But she's talking about how much she loves them, her family, how they fought for her. She was there every step of the way. So that's what Nicole Brown Simpson had to say. Thank you, Nicole, for coming through and speaking with me and allowing me to record this, because I did ask her permission beforehand. And yeah, she had things she wanted to say. She wanted to clear a few things up. But this was a wonderful conversation. And tingles all over my legs, the front of my legs especially. She was making my hands, but the palms of my hands tingle. I have healing hands, so when I'm connecting with a spirit, that's usually very active. So she was just like such a huge angelic force, and it was beautiful to experience. So with that, I hope you're all doing well, and I am sending you so much love now and always.